Well, I have to say I'm surprised that the government have come in here today and not provided an explanation on what exactly—
Senator, you just need to move to take note, that's all.
My apologies.
That's okay.
I move to take note of the minister's answer.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, I'm not surprised that the government have come in here today and not provided appropriate answers to the questions that were put to the Senate and agreed by the Senate. Now, this is about the expenditure of public funds. $10 billion scheme, which has been running for 2 years, which has only built, we think, maybe 17 houses or 2,000 houses or no houses. And the point of this particular order for production was to ascertain exactly what had happened with the $277 million that was remaining in the HAFF fund at 30 June 2025. The HAFF is required to spend $500 million each year, each financial year, but the Department of Finance reports that only $223 million had been debited in 2024-25, and so we wrote to the Auditor General to seek a performance audit. They wrote back and said that, in fact, the remaining $277 million had been debited and given to Housing Australia to spend on round one of the HAFF. But the problem is that we can't actually see where that $277 million of taxpayer funds has gone. And the reason I say that I'm not surprised about this is because this is the most secretive government since the Keating government. It's a secretive government. It has a shocking record of responding to orders for production of documents. The Centre for Public Integrity has actually marked the government's work here and has said this is the worst in 30 years. This government is more secretive than a government led by a man who swore himself into secret ministries. That is the standard of this particular government, that it campaigned on being transparent and showing great integrity, but it has shown that it is obsessed with covering up its use of public funds. And I would say that the use of these off-budget funds is massively problematic. Here you have a $10 billion scheme with a lot of taxpayers' funds, and we can't even see where the money's going. We have no idea which projects it's funded. We have no idea of what the commercial arrangements might be. And when the Labor government seems to feign surprise when we come in and ask questions about the Housing Australia Future Fund, it's because we can't get any answers. Freedom of information requests are blocked and blacked out, or blacked out. You get a freedom of information request back from this government and all you see is black ink. You see no material information. The orders for production of documents are blocked, and in fact one of their favourite tools is to use the tool known as the public interest immunity claim. And in fact, Mr Chalmers, the Treasurer of the Commonwealth, has been found to have used false public interest immunity claims when he made them in relation to documents provided to him by the CBUS Super Fund, where the Treasurer filed a public interest immunity claim with this Senate, which said that they would not provide the documents that CBUS had given the Treasurer because they were commercial in confidence. We appealed that because we had a parallel piece of paper in with the Information Commissioner, and the Information Commissioner found that, in fact, that document should be provided because it was not commercial in confidence, and what CBUS was doing was lobbying the Treasurer to try and get preferential access and deals. In this case, it was trying to cover up the stamp duty fees paid by the Super Fund to its members. Now we see one of the outcomes of the Economic Roundtable was the government wants to help the super funds cover up stamp duty fees to their members so that they can become the corporate landlords of Australians. So I've often said this is a government for vested interests, but I thought that when they had a productivity roundtable, it was genuinely about productivity. In fact, it was all about lining the coffers of their mates with the ideas that were already provided to them in the last term, such as helping the super funds become massive corporate landlords. And that is what stinks about this government. Beyond it being the most secretive and untransparent government since the Keating government, it is that it won't even say where it's spending taxpayer funds. I suspect that there are a range of unsavoury financial arrangements which exist here between the unions, the super funds, Mr Chalmers and his government, and the Housing Australia Future Fund. But we cannot get—
Senator Bragg, would you mind please taking your seat? Minister.
Point of order, Acting Deputy President. Senator Bragg has just reflected in the most inappropriate way on Mr Chalmers in the other place. I think he should withdraw it.
All right. Senator Scarr.
On the point of order, Acting Deputy President, I was listening very closely to Senator Bragg, as I'm sure all Australians are, and from my perspective, his comments were very well chosen and certainly consistent with other practice I've seen in this place. I saw nothing disorderly in the comments whatsoever.
Okay, thank you, Senator. I'll just seek. Senator Bragg, it would be helpful if you could just clarify that the remarks that you made about the Treasurer do not go to any of the standing orders or breach any of our unparliamentary language. So it would be helpful if you could assist the Chair and the Chamber, particularly around your last comments about the Treasurer. And I'd also remind to refer to members in the other place by their correct titles.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to clarify my point, which is that the Treasurer filed a false public interest immunity claim with this Senate to cover up documents from CBUS that he received, which the Information Commissioner later found should have been made publicly available. And so that was a disgraceful occurrence that the Treasurer of the Commonwealth used his position to cover up secret lobbying to aid his corporate housing agenda.
All right. Thank you, Senator.